Like, Jill, do you remember our like main talking points?
No.
Me neither.
um,
Just capitalism.
did we write them down somewhere or something? I don't even remember what we talked about, if I'm being honest.
Welcome to Copy and Paste.
Okay.
Capitalism and data. Um, I feel like the only thing I remember saying was like that one line from Social Dilemma, that like documentary or whatever. That like you think you're using the product, but we are the product. And
Mm.
data, I don't know. We're being sold. Our data's being sold. What's new? We're being profited off of.
Mm-hmm.
What's new?
Mm-hmm.
Our personal, health, our personal privacy, stuff like that. Doesn't matter out the door. You signed it away the second you made an email account.
Yeah. Okay. Let's
Okay, let
just
me
do
just
it.
pull up the Google definition of
Mm-hmm.
capitalism. Okay, so capitalism is an economic and political system in which a country's trade and industry are controlled by private owners for profit rather than by a state.
Um,
Um. See,
Everything
here's
just
that
revolves around
Like
laughing.
on key for that.
Famita, why don't you explain? Remember that TikTok you sent about like STEM majors being like going into industries trying to like fix capitalism from within it or whatever, or fix, I don't know, but
Mm-hmm.
then by fixing it you're just like feeding into it, I don't know, you explained it better
Okay.
than one.
Um, okay, so I learned this for the first time through that TikTok as well. But there's something called the Javon paradox, which basically this economist, I guess, came up with back when steam engines became a thing. So, because steam engines used coal and coal was not a renewable resource as limited, they obviously wanted to use it as efficiently as possible. That way they don't run out of the resource faster. So they developed all of these methods to like make production efficient, and they thought that would lessen the use of coal. But because now it was more, um, what's the word for it when it's accessible? Because now all of these production methods are more accessible and easier, more companies started to use coal as a means of production, which instead gave like the opposite result. So they wanted to save more coal by making their production efficient, but because they made it efficient, now all of these other people could also use coal for production in a much cheaper format. So basically, like it flipped. Like they wanted to stop using more coal, but they used way more than what they would have if they didn't make it more efficient. Does that make sense?
Yes.
yes.
So it's like a paradox. Like you're trying to fix it, but by trying to fix it, you're actually making it worse. And
Facts.
Like everything, if you think about it, everything at this point is just so messed up. Like, I don't
mm-hmm,
even know where to begin with that. And it just all revolves back around like power and money. Like,
Mm-hmm.
like how, like, I don't know. I genuinely don't even know where to start with this. But apparently, there is a thing called data capitalism, thanks Wikipedia. Um, and it's literally just saying that data is the source of monetization and often the currency and the final value rather than like money. Money's made up, but that's a different discussion. Um, and it's like, it's just so crazy that people profit off of what like I feel like this relates just because like people can profit off of like the data that we have and the data that we use and the products that we use, and then people try to make a technology better. So, you know, a quote better is obviously a subjective term, but for example, like Twitter came up with like Twitter stories, like
Fleets.
fleets. What is fleet? Ugliest thing I've ever
You know,
heard of.
Spotify has stories.
Yeah.
Spotify
What?
artists can put up stories. I found that crazy. Yeah,
What
not
the
joking.
heck? That's really crazy.
Yep, I was just on my this is Ariana Grande playlist, and I just see it's like view Ariana's story, and I'm like, huh?
What?
So
That's
it's a
so.
thing.
And
It's a
it's like,
thing.
ugh, man, it's like so weird. They're literally just, I don't know, but along the lines, all like their quote trying to make the technology better. Twitter has fleets, Spotify has stories. Don't know how it ties in. You're literally using your ears to use Spotify, but I guess we like to use our eyes now too. Um, but you go and you try to make things better, but it does make it worse because like now there's like so much media coming at you from all different directions in all different ways at all different times, and it's like bad on A, society, B, an individual, C, you know. I saw this other TikTok. It was like interesting. It was like there's like such a huge gap in how Gen Z and like kind of millennials, but like I don't know, can't speak for millennials, but there's a huge gap between how like Gen Z communicates with their parents, and it's like not even because like I don't know about you guys, but like it was like just describing how Gen Z don't feel comfortable communicating with their parents if they run into issues. So, for example, if they're being like cyberbullied or they feel like, when you like ask your friends for opinions if you should post this like picture, like you wouldn't feel comfortable speaking to your parents about those kind of things, right? And then there's like a huge communication gap between Gen Z and their parents, and there's this I don't know, like invisible wall, and it's not even because like it's like poor parenting or like poor childhood or whatever. Not like it's like a broken family type of thing. It's literally simply because technology accelerated so quickly. And it accelerated so quickly because people wanted to make money off of it and they want to be successful. And there's this beautiful, glorified idea of being young, successful tech entrepreneur, et cetera, et cetera. That like technology has advanced so far that there's literally a communication gap in a like literally in a family. Like that's so it's like no one to blame, but like there's just really no one to blame.
Yeah.
I mean, capitalism is the blame. Like people trying to profit off of
Anything.
like I think we talked about this in our brainstorm session, but how fast technology is moving is actually like causing people to lose jobs because now their jobs are being automated at a rate so quickly that they can't go out and find other jobs. They can't go back to school to try to get new degrees and find other jobs because they're what like 50 40 year olds, right? And it's much harder for them to go back to university when they're trying to maintain their full adulthood, like adult life. They may have children dependent on them. They have rents and bills to pay, but then now they also have to go and pursue this degree on the side just because they lost their job because an Excel macro replaced them, you know?
Yeah.
And you know what? Sorry, Jillian.
That's okay.
This is just crazy because like okay, like obviously you can automate stuff and you kind of you start scrapping those super manual jobs. But that means like for the future generation, right? Like obviously like things are still automated, but you still need kind of that puppeteer to watch and understand the technology. So it's like now people have to go to school for a, more complicated study or a more complicated degree, and
Mm-hmm.
and you drop like so much more money on this degree to be able to be the puppeteer, and it's like, well, you know, schools profit off of that now too.
Yes.
Crazy.
Yeah.
I have
It
so
is
many
crazy.
opinions about this because I feel like the only professions that really need an undergrad are like doctors, engineers, lawyers, or like biology or research fields. Like for a job, like if you are trying to be an HR manager, I don't think you need a master's degree or even an undergrad. I feel like a college diploma should be good enough for that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And like I saw this thing on like Facebook the other day, and it's like, yeah, like I agree. Like you can get certain skill set without having to go to a formalized post-secondary education. And I saw this thing on Facebook the other day where this guy was trying to apply for an internship, and the job description of the internship says over 2 year like requirements, over 2 years of experience in the field. Like, it's not the point of the internship. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's just like this like circle of, I don't know, just messed upness. I just can't. I can't do it. And then like the idea
Oh my
of
God.
making money till you die. Wait, is this still the
Yeah.
same topic? Are we on a different topic?
Wait, you can talk about that because I have something to say about that too. Making money till you die.
Yeah, like why is that normalized? Like why is that why is the goal to go to a post-secondary education, be put in tens of twenties of $1,000s of debt, then work until you die
For Canadians.
for
For
Canadians?
Americans, it's like hundreds of thousands of
Way
dollars.
more, yeah.
Yeah. Go to school until you die, try to raise a family. Like why like have a house mortgage and a car loan, maybe two car loans if you feel like it. Like why is that normalized? Like why is that okay? Like
Yeah, no, what I don't like that is normalized is the freaking 40-hour work week. I don't think I will ever get over that. Like, why are we working 40 hours in a week? Like, for what? To make money?
Okay.
To, like, pay off our mortgages and our debts and whatever? Like, so what? Like, we work for, like, these big-ass companies so that these rich people get richer. Like,
yeah.
what are we doing? Oh my God, I can't get over it. And like, it's so, I don't know, it's so stupid. Like 40 hours in a week is just way too much time to be working. Like, who really works? Who really works for the full 40 hours? Like, I definitely don't. I sit there for half the time and do nothing. It's like counterproductive. It just, I can't get over it.
Yeah.
On the 40-hour work week,
No,
or
listen.
just in general.
Yes. No, on like capitalism.
Yeah.
So, starting with the 40-hour work week, the reason that exists is because of manufacturing jobs.
Manufacturing.
Way before
Yes,
there
I saw
was
TikTok about that. Keep going,
way
though.
before there was like way before there were like and like cubicles and office works. The only reason people would need to work 8 hours a day was for manufacturing plants to be able to produce like the numbers that they needed. And since it was like labor work, and that's like how much like physical capacity a human body is technically supposed to have, they were like, okay, we're gonna max you out. You're gonna work 8 hours a day, up to 40 hours a week, and then you're gonna get Saturday and Sundays off. And then they called it a day. But going back to the whole education thing, remember we talked about this, how they like sold education to everyone basically after. First of all, I think the problem started with the world wars and the need for
war.
like
Okay, let's just get over this hump here, war.
Keep going, Famita, just keep going.
Okay, yes. So first of all, the idea of an economy is so stupid to me. Have you guys seen those TikToks where it's like, why don't we just print more money? And
Yeah,
inflation. So then the
Dude,
girl's like, well, just don't inflate it then.
like money is made up. Money is quite literally made up. Like, isn't that just crazy? Like, everything we
Yeah.
do, we are doing it for something that's made up. How does that even work? Why did we just let that happen? Like, who let that happen?
Yeah.
Who was like, yeah, this is a good idea. Let's implement this. Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
And like obviously that's gonna sound stupid, but like like I understand money, I understand the value, I understand where it comes from and how it used to barter and trade, blah 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 blah. I get it. But like it rules way too much of our life. Like way too much.
And like money used to be like a tangible, like, you know, people used to use cash. Now, who the hell uses cash? Like, now money is just a number in your bank account, you know?
Yeah, like it's so desensitized.
Yeah.
Like, you just know you have to go to work, you have to work, you just know that you have to have money in your bank account, but it's like
Yeah.
it's so desensitized at this point and it's so normalized to just throw your life away on a 40-hour work week on your 9 to 5 and it's like what the like why is this, who let this happen? Anyways.
Okay, so that was my history lesson that I was confused to.
I was too hung up on the
that we
war
completely
thing.
sidetracked off of. No, it is because of that. Because countries needed to rebuild their like livelihoods and their lives after like World War II, right? Because all of these men were at war, so there was like this disconnect of like their growing work industry, and now suddenly like you have decades worth of just war and civil unrest and like all of this history. So so people needed to start selling stuff. So governments have to be like, okay, buy this land, build a house on it. We'll give you the mortgage. We'll let you take a loan from us that you can pay off eventually over the course of your life. And they basically glorified this lifestyle for the people. They're like, husband, a wife, 2 kids, a white picket fence. They sold it to their citizens, right? So like imagine you growing up your whole life just on TV, in the news, movies, TV shows, all you see is a husband and a wife and their 2 kids. That's all TV and media was back in the day, right? So like you see this idealized lifestyle in front of you and now you want to be part of that lifestyle. But then now their population started growing. Now so many people had access to this like loan and this like need for land, and they're like, ah shit, we have too many people and it's too accessible, we need to how can we profit off of it even more? What did they do? They start demanding an education. They're like, now we won't give you this job unless you have an education. And then they glorify degrees, and now all of these millennials growing up are seeing TV ads and radio and hearing radio ads and are like, crap, if I don't have a degree, no one's going to give me a job. So now all of these people are investing in degrees and taking hundreds of thousands of loans from these privatized banks just to get a degree so they can get a job, so they can buy this house, so they can have this ideal family.
Crazy.
Like they're brainwashed. They're literally brainwashed into wanting this lifestyle. And like if you think about it, all of these boomers attack millennials and Gen Zs for not wanting that. They're like, what do you mean you're not going to buy a house? What do you mean
you're not going to go to school?
You know, like settle down. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? So like they've literally been brainwashed into these lifestyles. And we were talking about how TV shows for us are like that too, where they glorify the workaholic lifestyle. You know, like staying past 5 p.m. to do your work. Being at a corporate office, making millions of dollars, like TV shows like Suits, and Scandal, or like Grey's Anatomy, where it's like, yep, we're gonna glorify this job for you, and we're gonna glorify this lifestyle for you, which you can only get by going into hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of debt.
Oh, money.
So yeah.
Money. Oh man.
Currently.
That's rough.
It is.
And you know
It's
what?
okay.
Corporate isn't even that fun.
It's not. I'm
Like-
bored as hell.
Yeah. And like the work you do is like so like anyone can do it.
Yeah.
Like you don't drive, like it doesn't feel impactful. Like being literally in any sort of like analyst or any sort of like business something role is like it just feels so like valueless.
Yeah. I like to
So
think that like us, like our program was a little more different, a little bit different. I don't know. Because
Quirky.
I don't know. Yeah, you know, but like no, like look at us. Like what are we doing right now? We're doing like the jobs that literally anybody else could do.
Yeah.
which brings us right back to the point of I don't think all jobs need degrees or master's degrees.
Yeah,
Like a
like
college diploma would
literally
be,
don't.
even a high school diploma, if I'm honest, would be perfectly like good for our
Yeah,
jobs.
if these politicians are out here with only high school diplomas, like, and they're running cities and countries and whatever, like, I'm sure we can do just fine.
Oh my gosh. Wait, this
Yeah.
goes back to Famida's point about oh god, what was I thinking? Oh, like glorified and like what boomers like to think. You know what? I have a bone to pick here. I hate it when like boomers and like just older people like to characterize Gen Z and like younger people as like lazy.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that like
Mm-hmm.
literally growing up in high school, I'm pretty sure about 70% of my classmates ran all the Tim Hortons in my city. Like everyone has a job. Everyone had like some
Yep.
people had 2 jobs in like grade 11. Like it was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like so weird to think that we're lazy. Like why is that? Like why? I don't
I
know.
don't know.
Anyways, it's just
I
so
know what
weird
you
to me.
mean.
Yeah, you're literally so right. Because, like, in school, I see my friends, and then I clock into work at Walmart and I see my friends.
Yeah.
I spend all day with them.
Yeah, same. Like I would go to
Um,
school. After school, I'd go to work and I would just go to work and like I'd see classmates. Like it's
mhm.
like why it's
Not to
so
mention after
normalized.
school clubs or like morning clubs. Like, we were so overworked in high
We
school.
actually were. Oh God.
Yeah. And like for what reason? Just to look
Every,
good.
To get into
yeah,
To
just to
university.
get
get into
into uni.
university,
Like
look at that.
Like,
And as
oh
one who
man.
had crazy requirements, um, I was gonna say I asked a teacher for an extension once because my job had booked me like all 5 days in a row during the week, and I had literally no time to write this essay.
Mm-hmm.
And I asked my teacher, I was like, "Hey, do you think I can get an extension till Monday? Just give me 2 days, Saturday and Sunday, and I'll write the essay for you." And this man, like, he gave me the extension in the end, but the way he like made me feel like so entitled just for asking for an extension. Like, like when teachers just have that entitlement with their
Yeah.
course.
yeah.
Yeah.
I was like,
Like
you're seriously gonna bully a 16-year-old for not writing you an essay while she has to work 5 days a week at a supermarket? Like, what's your problem?
yeah, and like why is it so normalized to just bully young people? Like why is that like fine? Why does
Yeah.
that slide? Like you know what I hate is like you see like people like I've seen a couple of videos of like pro-choice or sorry, not pro-choice. What is it? People like anti-maskers and then they just like try to just
Mm-hmm.
go about and like other people who are wearing masks are like, hey, like you should put on a mask. It's for the safety of the people around you and for yourself. And then they go, oh, how old are you? And they're like 18 and they're like, oh yeah, you're not going to tell me anything. Like what? You're still going to die. Like what does that even
Yeah.
matter for? Like
Mm.
it doesn't make sense why
What I
the
think
youth
it
are always
is,
bullied.
What do you
I
think it
think
is,
it's
Famita?
because they were bullied. Like,
Oof.
okay, parenting was never like great back in the days, right? So you have all of these boomers who grew up with literal trauma from their childhoods that they never processed.
And they're just
And now they're
projecting
like
it.
60 or yeah,
Mm.
basically. And like I kind of want to say like it definitely is their fault because after a certain age they're accountable for their own actions, and there's so many people who are their age who still respect younger kids. So it's definitely like the
Yeah.
boomers' faults. but I also get why they turned out that way. Not that I'm excusing it or justifying it in any way.
Mm-hmm.
So like I'm glad at least we're now figuring out like how much trauma kids actually go through if they don't have the right parenting or childhood.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think
Yeah.
Gen Z suffers from just because of social media, first of all. And actually, yeah, just do you think they'd be as traumatized if it weren't for social media? Or do you think they'd be more traumatized without social media?
I don't know. I feel like less, because like social media is so degrading on your mental health, and like obviously there's this whole idea of mental health and social media and yada yada yada, but like it's like quite literally like freaking awful. Like going back to like that social dilemma documentary, it describes and outlines like this whole theory, psychological theory of social media on your brain and like how it affects you. Like you are constantly consuming so much content, so much media on people's perfect lives that obviously are just
Mm-hmm.
one side of the moon that they're showing, and you just see so much, like way too much, like
Yeah.
but like there's like pros and cons. Like pros, like you like learn so much when you have this much media presented to you, you have so much accessible to you, but cons is
Mm-hmm.
obviously like you don't need to know that much sometimes, and it's so degrading because then you build this idea in your head of like what's okay and what's not. And then
Mm-hmm.
like even without social media, like you'd still have trauma, but like it would feel almost like cutting off a limb. I know that's excessive, but can you imagine you just delete all your social medias and you go 1 week? Wouldn't you feel like so like imbalanced?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like my anxiety would kick in just because I'm not on my phone. Like my mind would constantly be like, I wonder what they posted. Am I missing anything? What if my friends are messaging me? You know,
Yeah.
like
And like
I don't know.
social media, like okay, there's like social part where like okay, you can like connect with your friends, blah blah blah. You talk to them, you can check out what other people post, things like that. But like it's also so key when it comes to like news broadcasts, announcements, what's going on in the world. Like, how do you know, like, for example, like you can figure out or you can learn immediately what is going on in a certain part of the world just
Yeah.
because you have like social
Mhm.
media and it's accessible and it's there and it's tailored to you because of your data. And it's like, wait, do we specify data or data? I forget.
Data.
Data. Okay. So, like, what like I don't know. I don't remember my point, but the point is everything's just crazy. I hate it here. That was a
Yeah.
joke. Don't put that in. I'm gonna look and I'm gonna sound like I need a therapist.
Don't we all? I
No, but
think I
No, but we do.
yeah.
Yeah.
no, like I think
See,
therapy
therapy.
should
Going back to the go for it. Just go for me now.
okay, just really quickly. I think therapy is like mandatory for everyone as much as like
Right?
doctor's visits are.
Yeah.
Like it should be included in our healthcare
Yeah.
plan.
Yeah. Like that should be like
Yeah. It
so
actually should.
normal. Like
Yeah.
therapy. Oh my. Oh, sorry. Go.
No, no, I was gonna say like everybody treats like physical health with such high like importance, but like mental health is just like boomers don't get mental health at all. They just like, oh, you're
Even
sad,
though they're
like
the most
go do some
traumatized
work. Like
generation.
yeah.
You're sad. Go swing on a swing. Like
You're sad, like yeah, I don't know, like
You're
be
sad,
take
go
a
happy.
walk.
back.
Like I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Drink some
literally like
water.
that's what
Literally.
and they yeah. And remember Emma, you were saying like they call us like lazy or whatever, and they like they characterize us as like lazy, and they want to treat us like robots, like we're just meant to be working all the time when we literally are, and they don't
Yeah.
even care about like our mental health and how like this overworkingness makes us feel like kind of crazy.
Mhm.
Kind of crazy.
But if we break our arm, like they're the first to rush us to the hospitals. Like
There's like okay, this gap of like media and what we're accessible to is like it like just allows us to know so much more. Like the people before
yeah.
us and stuff like that, like They just know if they see a problem, there is a problem.
Yeah.
Simple as that. A to B. But like the idea behind it is like, no, like obviously we're aware that mental health is such a huge problem. And it's like, well, we're being taught just go walk it off or like sit in the rain or something, like just get over it. But like we know that that's not like the only, like there's more to it because we just understand that there's more to health than like what we can see. Like you break your arm, okay, but like,
Yeah.
dude, I am having a chemical imbalance in my brain. Like, how am I meant to see that? Like,
Yeah.
just crazy.
Yeah, it's kind of like not their fault because yeah, like we have access to it, like it's so readily accessible, but for them it kind of wasn't. But still, like for me to said, like
They should be accountable.
yeah, exactly.
Therapy should be mandatory. End of sentence.
It should.
And you know what else too?
What else?
Like, okay, like older people can be like, go walk it off or something. Like being sad isn't a problem. Like just get over it. But like, and this is going to be a controversial statement, but I feel like so many people of Gen Z and stuff like that are meant like diagnosed with something along of depression or anxiety. Like it's such a frequent occurrence, and like please disagree if whatever, but like it's seen in so much more of the population than what people would think given the stigma. But like, why are we still being told to walk it off? Like even like a normal doctor, I've been told to like, I like went to her about, and this was a physical problem, so I was like, I literally can't stay awake in class. I don't know what it is. Like I can't stay awake. I feel very faint all the time, blah blah blah. And I described these symptoms to her, and she was literally like, yeah, you're probably just stressed. Just don't be stressed and everything will be fine.
Wait, a doctor told you that?
A doctor, my family doctor. And I was like,
Thanks.
yeah. And obviously, like, I was young and you don't, especially if it's like a doctor or someone who's like a professional, you're not like, you don't
question it.
You don't question it. But
Yeah.
like, obviously, I was like, you know what? This might not be normal. I literally am like, every single day is fuzzy. Like, I don't remember what happens every day because I'm so dizzy all the time. And I was like, I had to like kind of be insistent on if she could just let me get a blood test to like check out if something was wrong. Like that's like literally the generation that is handling us right now. Like, just don't be stressed. It'll be fine. Like, I don't know. Like,
yeah.
Like I've tried. Trust me, I've tried. It didn't really work.
Yeah.
Yeah, and not to mention our living conditions are so much harder.
Yeah.
And we're growing up in a time where they're like, yep, so the climate change is gonna like damage is gonna be irreversible in the next few years that you're actually gonna like start establishing your life. So it's like, okay, well, what's the point then? First of all. Second of all, our minimum wage covers nothing. It is not a livable wage.
Like, and like this is Canada too. Like in the States, okay, I gotta Google this. I gotta fact check myself. But the States, U.S. minimum wage 2020.
$7 or something.
Yeah, I think it depends on the state, but yeah, it's like pretty low. Yeah.
Like you work an hour, you sell an hour of your life away for literally a $5 bill and some spare change. That's crazy.
That is crazy.
Like, Jesus
Christ. My goodness.
And what's annoying is that no one sees the problem in this. Well, if they do, they're ignoring it. But, like, no one sees a problem in this. They're like, well, I worked a job when I was your age. And it's like, well, like, Betty, your tuition wasn't $100,000 a year.
Like, well, yeah, then they yeah, that's why they make it like this so that people go to school so that they're not stuck working these minimum wage jobs. Like it's stuck working minimum
wage jobs. Like it's not like you go and you get your degree, and now you're in a huge freaking hole of debt, and you're guaranteed a job. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you're just set. Like, you're not even set. Like, it just doesn't end. You still have to work. You still have to put your time into it, and it's like,
Yeah.
oh my god.
And,
oh my
and
god,
the
guys,
history of like universities and higher level education isn't even for the working industry, it's literally just for education. Like universities existed since like the ancient Greece times, like since philosophers were a thing, and that's literally what university was. You go and you learn about life, philosophy, anthropology, and all of these like social science slash humanities courses meant to enrich you, but then and like medicine and all of like math and engineering and all of that. But then now they take this and they're like, nope, you're gonna need this huge degree worth hundreds of thousands of dollars just so you can be my receptionist and take calls.
Yeah. And like you do that, you're working a receptionist job now, but you still can't live without your other two part-time jobs. Like that's oh my goodness.
Mm-hmm. And
Yeah.
then they're like, no, you're lazy. It's like, no, sir, we're exhausted.
Yeah.
And on top of that, you have to maintain a social life. You have to pay your bills. You have to have enough time for like yourself. And like there's social media too, where everyone's like racing to post their most perfect life online. Which again, it's not everyone, but then it's still like there as a thing that exists.
That's like the etiquette.
Oh my God. And I hate how like all of these older people are like, oh, Gen Z so obsessed with followers. Gen Z so obsessed with numbers and like whatever. It's like, no, you made us be obsessed with numbers when you started comparing salaries, when you started comparing square feet of your house. Like you made it all about numbers, and now that you've projected that onto us, and now we're worried about how many followers you have, it's suddenly like this double standard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not even that. It's like also the culture behind the times that we've grown up in is like you're like at this point, if you don't have an email account and an internet access, you are under a rock. Like that's that. Like it like a freaking
Mm-hmm.
email address is so integral to daily life now. Like
Like you can't even get a job without an email address.
yeah. Like
You can't get a job without a house.
seriously,
Yeah.
Like
this is like so part of
literally.
like daily culture now, and
And,
it's like no one to blame. So like why what is this idea that I don't know.
and I think that feeds more into the class divide of like, if you don't have access to this technology, then you can't get a job. And if you can't get a job, you can't live your life. But to live your life, you need a job. And then
Yeah.
it's
And
like,
to get
okay,
a
fine, let's
job.
get you access to some technology. But like to get access to technology, you need a job.
Yeah.
And it's just like this circle that you can't enter if you've been kicked out of it. And
Yeah.
and no one cares about like the homelessness rates in any country, I think. Like no one is working towards that because it doesn't profit the country in any way whatsoever. In fact, they have to put in more of their money. So like it's just like kind of appalling. Like how do you not care for people?
Yeah. Sorry, this is off topic, but I think we should cut the capitalism off the title of this and just make it like old data versus new data. I don't know.
Just their
We
brand
could.
tired Gen Zs.
Yeah, we kind of strayed a little bit away from capitalism in some
Yeah.
parts of this. Yeah.
But like isn't it capitalism
Then like
though? Like people trying
Yeah,
to
I guess it
profit, and then
is.
to profit they need to exploit us. And to exploit us, they're giving us an unlivable minimum wage. They're
I mean, we were
making
talking
us
about mental health
invest in
earlier.
all of these things.
Yeah. I guess,
Yeah, but then we also talked about like jobs and degrees that we don't need, and like who
yeah.
sold it to us, all of these people who need workers.
Maybe we can call it capitalism
and boomers.
and some
That's the
spare
joke.
change.
And some
Okay.
spare change. Oh my gosh. Like, yeah, like that's so crazy. I saw this tweet and it was like, you just sold an hour of your life away for this. And it was literally like $5 and some spare change. Or like two $5 bills and then some spare change in Canada. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Like even a meal isn't as cheap as the minimum wage.
Yeah,
I
like if you
know.
go to
Like,
Oh
McDonald's,
my
like
goodness.
McDonald's used to be so cheap. You go to McDonald's now and you buy a combo and there's like maybe close to an hour of your work gone. Like it's like what, like
Yep.
$12?
Yeah, it's like
mm-hmm.
some combos are like $10 plus tax. So
Yeah.
there you go,
And that's
gone.
crap food. Literally.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I read this thing where like they make fun of us for not buying avocados and all this like fancy vegetable and fruit or like
Like,
fine dining,
yeah.
when in reality the only accessible food to us is this processed food. Like it's what we
Yeah.
can afford, so that's what we're getting, and now you're turning around and blaming millennials and Gen Zs for not buying avocados and not buying your overpriced strawberries when you don't even care about the actual farmers out there and like the actual people growing the fruit and vegetable. You'd rather just
Yeah.
like
They get paid like what, like
crazy.
$3 per gallon of strawberries they pick? Like,
And the
Yeah.
people who are profiting is the middleman, the people who go and collect this from the farmers and bring it to the supermarkets. The middleman is getting all of the money just for delivering these things.
Mm-hmm.
what's to be
And
done?
did you guys
What
know
is to be done?
Second most
Elon
richest man
Musk
in
is
the
now the
world.
second richest. Mm-hmm.
He is?
Yeah.
How? Yep, he surpassed
Rich
Bill
get
Gates.
richer. Literally,
The
he like
rich do get richer, literally. Oh my god.
I think I saw this thing. He hasn't paid taxes ever. Elon Musk.
Just look at
Goodness.
how bad Tesla and Amazon job reviews are.
I found a thing. It says billions already at the door with billions more committed, but still not enough for GM and Tesla. In a shameless display, these two companies who pay no corporate tax insist that they should get even more in subsidies from the rest of us.
What?
Like,
Wow. So Elon Musk can make $30 billion in like 3 weeks. I
And then
don't
he
know if
wants
those
more.
are right numbers, but yeah.
and like Elon Musk, and this is the thing about like classism too. Like I saw this one TikTok, so obviously my data isn't super, I didn't research this, but like he's not like people have to stop glorifying him. Like he isn't some young entrepreneur who came onto the scene with an incredible idea. He had money. He had
Mm-hmm.
money. He took a
Mm-hmm.
business from his father. Like
And
that's what happened. Like he's not some
and
superstar.
Tesla wasn't even
Yeah,
his.
like he's not. Oh my goodness.
He's privileged.
Yeah, then privileged get more privileges.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god.
Like I'm so stressed.
No, literally. It's like we're closer to being broke than we are to ever making $1 billion in our
Yeah.
lives.
Yeah.
And you know what? It's like exactly
And
like those people, the privileged people who are in charge too. You know what I mean? Like they're the people who have the ropes and they just call the shots. Like and it's
Mm-hmm.
because they are privileged and it's just like this endless cycle and like people with privilege and don't have to understand what struggle is or they never really had to worry about where their next meal comes from. Like those people run the ropes and they take care of the youth now. Like I don't know, like that idea of like racist people should not be allowed to go into nursing or to like be a doctor. Like
Mm-hmm.
like
mm-hmm.
those are the people who are doctors and nurses now.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
they probably got into being a doctor and a nurse and was able to pay it off because they are privileged.
Yeah.
And it's likely they got the job because they are, and I'm making assumptions, potentially white. It just goes in a big circle all the time. And it's like
Yep.
people who are not fitting of the idealist, quote idealist, because I don't think it's idealist, but they don't fit that character. Like they have to work 10 times harder to get there. Like it's literally still being profit off of, like, for example, if you were to have a black nurse versus a white nurse, like the black nurse is likely to work so much harder to to even be able to get into school to get the same education, and then have to work that much harder during that education to be able to get a job. Like, crazy talk. That's just crazy talk.
Yeah.
And you know what's even more appalling is the fact that America was split between Republican and Democratic this past election, which means literally half of them, a little bit less than half,
Are racist.
but like,
Yeah.
yeah, that's crazy. Like,
and have you like seen those jokes of like the Republicans being like, us moving to Canada when Biden wins, like,
yeah.
oh god,
like we have high minimum wages, we have 13% tax, like like what are you getting at? Like, gay marriage was legalized forever ago. You guys are just on the boat, like.
I know. I don't.
And these same Republicans who are like, we're gonna move to Canada, are the ones who are like, deport these people, they're not from America. And it's like, well, if you're ready to immigrate from your country when you're not okay with its leaders, then why aren't all of these other people of color allowed to do the same?
It's double standards,
bro. Double standards.
They only work the argument in their benefit.
Yep.
Literally. And
like, it's just so embarrassing.
It is embarrassing.
like how embarrassing is it to be like
an American? Like, yeah.
like, not even American, but like it's like kind of embarrassing to think like, oh yeah, like it should be illegal to have an abortion, but then they're also like, yeah, I hate immigrant children. Like, what is that? How does that even make sense? Like, if you love life so much,
it doesn't make sense. They're so like, crazy.
Like, that's embarrassing to think
my goodness.
doubly like that. Crazy.
It stems with just them needing to control every single thing that exists.
It's like illogical. They just I don't know.
Yeah.
I actually don't know.
And like they're also like, it's like, okay, you know, you're like pro-life, whatever. If you love life so much, why don't you put on a mask?
I know. Jesus.
It's scientifically proven to just help if you wear a mask. Like, why? Like, oh my goodness gracious.
Emma, these guys don't even believe the moon landing was real. You want them to believe in a pandemic? Like, they don't even believe the Earth is round. They think the Earth is flat. Like,
that one's embarrassing.
Sorry, you're arguing with the wrong people about believing in science.
That's embarrassing. Imagine thinking the Earth is still flat. That's crazy.
But imagine having thousands of years of mathematical proof and now literal pictures from the space station about how the Earth is round, and they're like, nope, it's flat. There's an edge.
Like, it just doesn't make sense. It always just feels like people who think that way, like just they like being oppressed for some reason. Like, they like it. Like, oh, I think the Earth is flat and you guys are all discriminating against me because I have a different thought process. Why can't we just be friends? I'm being discriminated against. Like, what? Like, you see all those like crazy people who would like try to call the police if a shop owner doesn't let them into their shop without a mask on. I'm being discriminated against. Like, no, you're making a bad choice.
You're taking away my freedom. Like, chill. Anyways.
Ridiculous.
Like, okay, ma'am. I think this has just become a rant about like
it probably has
Gen Z in general. Fine, this could be a rant episode.
Yeah.
Like, I'm actually so mad now. Like, I'm like heated.
I know.
I'm just secondhand embarrassed.
You know what's even more embarrassing? Our degree is literally all about making things efficient and making things easier for all of these corporations.
Yup.
We should be embarrassed.
Yup,
I can't believe I'm
embarrassed.
about to like profit a 70-year-old white man who runs a corporate office.
Yup.
Actually, Jillian, we're doing that right now. Is run by an old white man. How do
Oh my god,
Yup.
black.
Jillian, we should be embarrassed. I
I
am
am.
embarrassed.
I am. Like, but what are we gonna do? Quit? Like,
No, we need it.
No, we need the money and we need the
we need the
experience to
money.
graduate.
We
We need the
need,
credit.
yeah. Yup.
Okay, I'm gonna bleep that when I edit this, but oh my god.
They're gonna find us.
Oh god. God damn it. We're part of the system, we're part of the problem.
We are. But what are we gonna do about it? Like,
We
what can
can't
we really
reform
do?
it. See, this is
We
exactly
can't.
what I'm talking about. We can't. It's Javon's paradox. The world just needs to restart.
Yeah. Maybe Elon Musk can make a
No,
restart button for the whole
do you
world.
know what's even more annoying is this man is putting billions of dollars into SpaceX for like Mars and like trying to make colonies and communities on Mars when they don't even want to save the planet we're actually living on currently.
I know.
Remember when he
Like,
sued the state of California for going into lockdown during the pandemic?
What? I
You
didn't
didn't
know
know
that.
that? He
No.
tried to sue the state of California for putting like everyone on lockdown because then his factories won't run.
Oh
oh
my
my
god.
God. Didn't he require all of his factory workers to still come in even with the lockdown?
Yep.
Oh my God.
Oh my
Oh my God.
goodness.
I can't believe him and Jeff Bezos are the two most richest people in the world. But can we escape it? Like, can we ever escape this? Like we know that they shouldn't be rich, but we can't not help profit them.
Oh, I mean, I mean, we're just three girls. Like, if we stop using Amazon and don't buy Teslas, like, the rest of the world still is. Like,
No, but like imagine how many of us there are like them. Like, I mean, how many of us there are out there that are like us? Like,
That makes more
yeah,
sense.
yeah, sure there are. That's why we're putting this podcast out so everyone can hear us talk and be like, I hate myself too. I'm deleting Amazon Prime off my phone. You know?
So if anyone wants to
yeah,
join our
but will
boycott,
we? Is my question. Is like, it's so accessible and it's so easy and it makes our life easier, our already busy life. Like, you tell me, would you rather, like, first of all, it's so convenient now, especially because of the pandemic. No one wants to go out, no one wants to shop. Amazon's right there. 2-day free shipping with Prime. Like,
Yeah.
it's right there. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. See, that's how they trick you. They make your lives so much more efficient and convenient that like you don't wanna cancel them. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's a trap.
And we can even, like, even if we try to hold them accountable for their exploitation of their working class, it's not gonna do anything in the end because they know that they have the power.
Yep.
Like, they could just be like, oh, yeah, yeah, we'll look into it and then call it a day. Like, I can't go to like his house and knock on his door and be like, pay your labor workers.
Yeah.
You know, his wife is like, or like his ex-wife is giving away all of the money she earned from their divorce. She pledged to spend all like $50 billion that she
Oh
got
my goodness.
from him, and she's already spent like a good $7 billion or
Spend it
something.
on what?
Like giving it to schools, giving it to charities,
Oh,
like she's
okay.
giving it out to people who need it.
Okay. Thought she was like
Like, can you imagine
buying
your
Teslas or
ex-wife?
something.
Can you imagine your ex-wife doing more for the world than you are
Yeah.
when you're the one who's wealthy
That is
exponentially?
embarrassing.
On a divorce settlement, like,
Yeah.
Oh my god.
well, I'm glad now that we're all stressed.
Okay.
Okay, someone do an outro. Actually, wait, can someone do an
Yeah,
intro?
we didn't do an
We didn't
intro. I was about to say, like, I don't remember how we started, but we definitely did do an intro.
I think we're all just speechless after our little rant.
What's outro? Bye, guys. Thanks for listening. Or you didn't. It's fine. It really doesn't matter in the long run.
Yeah, like our podcast is nothing in the grand scheme of capitalism.
Oh my goodness. Well, yeah, it's not. And it's like we're just like tiny. Oh, I don't know. I don't want to get into that. We have 8 minutes.
You have 8 minutes.
Like, we are literally so insignificant in the world. Like, that's all. That was a statement.
We're insignificant, period.
Yep. So just don't listen to this podcast. This podcast is insignificant.
Bye.
If you listened, if you didn't, that's
You
okay.
didn't.
You don't have to like, unless you do.
Nor do you have to
cancel
subscribe.
your Prime account. Go cancel
Go
your
cancel
Prime
your
account.
Prime account. Don't buy that Model X.
Alright, well, before this recording cuts out, thanks
Thanks,
guys for joining.
Thank you. Come back in 2 weeks. Hopefully we
No, I
put
was saying
something
thank
together.
you to you two. Like, thank you, Emma and Jillian.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Thank you, Famita.
Yeah, you.
Thank
Thank you.
you, Famita.